Hello everyone, Dani here, and on this weekly meetup we have Dorela, and she's going to be talking about her whole book adventures with her book getting out, and I'll just let her get into that a little bit. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Dani. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes.
Yeah, because with the languages we're not sure. So I am Dorela Iepan, and I have written a book in 2021, and it will be really nice to share about that because I know that it's inspiring. I would like to say how did I got to do that, and maybe it will inspire you also. I am an energy healer. I do energy healing, and I didn't understand what I was doing. I was just working with people, and when I heard people saying they are energy healers, I was like, oh my God, what's that? It's so weird. And then I got to understand that this is my thing also. And I got to energy healing because I was having some trouble in my life. In 2020, I decided to break up with my husband because I said, you don't love me, and I need to uh, get get out of this relationship because I want to be loved in this life. I am born to love and to be loved, and you don't love me. So there was nothing that you could say, oh, you are right to do that. My husband is really amazing, but I was going through my stuff, having two kids, no parents to help us. There is lots of pressure there, and because of that decision, I needed to find the right path for me. And actually, what happened, I got into a program where I also learned about energy healing. And before the end of the program, I went to my husband and I was like, I love you. And he responded, I love you too. So we are together and we are in love. From that point, I started working with people, starting having results, worked a lot on myself. Our relationship got better and better. So there are a few steps, but in 2021, the person with whom I was doing my marketing back then told me I need to do a lead magnet. And in my mind, that was a waste of time because for me, there was no value in a lead magnet. And I had a sketch of something I've already done. So I'm just going forward and backward. In 2018, I created a program that went twice. I wasn't a coach. I was just a mom having trouble in her relationship. And I saw other moms, feeling a little bit the same. And I said, okay, let's do 30 days of something and we will see how it goes. For me, it didn't do everything, but some of the moms there told me that was incredible. So I did that twice. Then I was still not okay because in 2020 I had that rough decision to make. And then it was amazing. And in 2020, that written program, like one page a day, transformed into 28 days video of this program. And it was interesting. So I had a sketch of something and I said, I need to write a book. So with the sketch done, I had something where to start at and created the whole book that then afterwards in 2021, I've written in 33 days. Yeah.
How were you able to do it so fast?
So for me, there was something, the moment I decided to do that, in my mind was that I want to write the book in the frame time that readers will have to read the book. It's actually a 28 days program. it's 30, but it's like introduction, 28 days, and the ending of the book. But I said 28 days. And I wanted one action plan for every single day so that people can, mostly women, can work on themselves and see the impact it will have in their lives. And for me, it was the same transformation. So I grew as a person while writing what they needed to do. In the book, I'm feeling myself very shy in the beginning because I don't know what I'm starting to write. And as I move forward in the book, I am more and more confident. And when I reread the book, because it's written in 33, but we already know how much work it's afterwards to clean all the mistakes, to make sure that I am clear in what I've written. And when I reread the book, I saw that shyness, that timidity, and I said, I don't want to change that. I want it to stay like this because it's really beautiful to gain the trust of the reader and make them feel comfortable while reading the book.
Wow. So how were you able to write it in such a short time? Like, how much time did you dedicate towards writing a day?
I don't know. So the book is like 260 pages long, or maybe more. And I have also the workbook, 100 pages. So the workbook, there's lots of work, but it's like taking the exercises of each chapter and leaving space for the person to write the answers. For me, it was like I'm putting myself there and I'm starting to write. And so I was thinking I need to write one chapter a day, and because of the work on the workbook, I had 33 in total. Maybe it was around, so in between 1 hour and 3 hours a day, maybe. But I decided I am writing one chapter every day.
Yeah.
So it was with the decision taken, like putting my hands, starting to write, and it was the flow, and then to correct where it wasn't just the right wording. But I decided and I knew it had to be done.
Yeah. Awesome. So how were you able to juggle being a mom of two and then working on this as well? Because that's another obstacle for many people.
Well, it was the holidays, they were really little, and it was like, I'm there. And it is so interesting. But then I translated the book. So it's not only in 2021 when I've written the book, because then I've written the book in 33 days, then got it reading more, a few more times. And then every single day I was like, okay, someone was reading, making the adjustments, saying, here I don't understand what you wanted to say, find something better here, do you want to say that? So I was reading everything, and I always dedicated the time I wanted to dedicate. It was the decision, I need that space of time. I was working less back then because I was in the beginning, so I had clients, but I had that space of time. And I had the kids, they had that time to play. They were playing in the yard, helping my husband with the work. And then for the other languages, I had that time when they were in school or in the morning. For instance, the last one was the easiest one. So I translated the book. The first translation was in English, and it was difficult because I think I was really scared about what it will mean for people to read my book in English. So there was some kind of blockage. I really wanted the book to get to millions of people, but I was really scared about it. So there was some kind of blockage. Then next, so this was 2022. Then next year, 2023, it took me 6 months to finish the French translation. It was like it was difficult, and people were helping me with the translation, but they weren't understanding what I wanted to say. So I really needed to be sure I'm reading everything and it's exactly what I want to say. So I was reading everything. And then, surprisingly, I was really scared about the Italian one. That one went down in 22 days. And it was like, oh my God, I cannot believe how easy it was. And my friends who are Romanian but speak Italian, they all said the same thing as I feel. The Italian version, it's like you cannot stop reading it. It's really interesting how it flows. And for the Italian one, for instance, in the morning I have 2-3 hours for myself. Instead of doing what I'm usually doing in the morning, I replace that time for the book. So 22 days working on the book, and then it's done, it's okay. People read it and said, okay, here you missed something, here you missed something. So it was really small corrections I needed to do afterwards.
Wow, that's amazing. That reminds me of like Rhonda Byrne, how I can't remember how many days she got her book out, but she was like, it was effortless for her. And that's kind of sounds like how it was for you, maybe.
The effort is there, but
Yeah, but like the writing process, like,
yeah, it's done. And Rhonda's book, for me, it was an inspiration. The movies. So I've seen the movie over and over and over and over again, and I think there is something, because when you are so aligned with what you have to do, people are asking me. I didn't have someone guiding me through the process. I read a book of someone I know, and I was so inspired, and I said, she was writing so beautifully. And I only said to myself, I need to write my book. It was the inspiration I needed. I was like, if she is writing so beautiful, I myself will be able to write my book.
oh, that's great. It's crazy to learn how people's processes are so different when it comes to writing a book. And I'm happy that worked for you. And it's, yeah, I want more people to follow what they truly want. And if it's the writing the book and getting out there, that's truly amazing. So let's talk about what's inside of the book.
Well, I've talked a little bit about this, and now it will be even more interesting, because in my mind, so I was really scared of everything. I wasn't understanding what's happening in my life. Everything seems so aligned, and I don't know how ready I was for all of that. So in my mind, I was like, people won't pay me to work with me. I know my value, but they don't know me. And I said, okay, if I'm writing this book, it's a program, it's a complete program. So for instance, you can do this program with me. Well, it's paying me for X number of sessions, and it's a lot. And I said, if I'm writing the book, people will read the book, and then they will have all the work done at the price of the book. And people are like, oh, you've written about your relationship. No, it's not about my relationship. It's not about anyone's relationship. I know that it's the perfect relationship, but actually it's the side title that it's the one that's important. 28 days towards love. Maybe it's the love life, maybe it's at work to be okay, but in the end, reading the book, we understand that it's a self-work we're doing. Instead of showing other people and saying it's their fault, their fault, their fault, I get back to myself. I understand everything I've been through. I understand how to set up my mind to what I want. And then with every chapter, we are disempowering, dismantling, I don't know if it's a word in English, okay, all the beliefs. We are learning how to release emotions, and we are learning how to create a reality. So I didn't write the book in the beginning of something I didn't know. I wrote the book because of something I worked on, had success. So in the book, I don't have the 3 pillars I'm working on now, but with the book, I've grown into that. So when I say 3 pillars, it's the emotion code I'm working, the EFT, and the seeding system. In the book, I don't have the emotion code because I cannot. There is a book, the emotion code, it's not mine. People can read it, and I wasn't a certified practitioner back then when I've written the book, and it's okay. But we have the emotion code, body code, belief code. We understand that our beliefs are creating our reality. I have EFT, emotional freedom techniques, and matrix reimprinting, and that there we understand that we need to work our beliefs again. And when we understand the beliefs, we work on the past events, our reality changes automatically. And the seeding system, it's teaching us that actually I create my reality because of what I have in my mind, and we understand how we can create what there is in our mind, so we get to full control of what will happen in our reality. So for instance, writing this book was so easy for me because I was inspired by this person. But when I read her book, I asked her if I can translate the book into French, and I translated her book in French. And I asked a friend of mine to translate her book into Italian because I didn't have the time to do that. So actually, I was planting the seeds for something I didn't know of what. My coach wrote a book that's available in Romanian and in English. And I asked him, can I translate your book in French? And he said, yes. Oh, so my friend was not in French. She had the book in Romanian and in French, and I translated it into English. Yeah, sorry about that. My mistake. Okay, so from French to English. My coach from Romanian to French. And with those seeds planted, when I worked on my own book, I had the seeds to see the flow of everything.
Nice. Nice. So I'm assuming that you self-published, right?
Yes.
Cool. So what were the steps that you had to do in order to get to it being published?
Oh, this is so funny because when I was writing the book, I said, okay, the moment is done. I'm happy it's done. Oh, I was so excited. And then back with the feet on earth, I understood that it's only then that the struggle begins because, as I said about no one will buy my program, no one will buy a book they don't know about. So I needed to see how to do everything. I've written the book in Romanian. Actually, you cannot publish on Amazon directly in Romanian. In the beginning, I've put the book on Amazon, but then I understood that it said another language and they removed it, and I said, okay, I cannot do that. I published it in Romania with the code for the book, and I am selling it myself. but I knew I want to get on Amazon and stuff like that. So with the book in English, French, Italian, it's all okay. I put my book on Amazon, directly on Amazon. People say it's not okay, that I should have bought my my book number. I didn't do that. It's okay. It's fine for me like this. And the Romanian one, I found that there is Ingram Spark, and I was so lucky because I've seen a book in Romanian, and I asked someone and they said, okay, ask the person. And I wrote to that man and they said, how did you get your book in Romanian on Amazon? Because I cannot. And they gave me that. So they have even more commissions to take on my book. I have no control on the prices. They don't put it on Kindle, but I understood that we cannot put it on Kindle in Romanian, so I didn't know that, but it's fine. So there is all that work, but I written, translated the book, and no speaking about the book, because I had so much success with my clients on the book, but I was so scared that people will tell me my book is no good. And I worked on myself. I worked on myself until this year. I said, no, this year I am promoting the book. So it took me 4 years to do this self work on myself, because I still know this book will sell in millions of copies, but I needed to work a lot on myself for that.
Yeah, I completely understand that because there's, especially when it comes to writing a book, we get in our way time and time again with all those inner blocks, or saying that we're not worth it, or our story doesn't matter, no one cares. Those are like some of the most common things that come up. And that's so great that you worked on yourself to help yourself with those problems. And that's great. And so what were the steps that you're taking to help promote it?
Well, now I'm doing lots of podcasts. For instance, here I know that maybe those who are watching us in your community are not the clients who will buy the book, but I learned throughout times to be relaxed in front of the camera. So when it's recording, all is good. I'm happy. I'm relaxed. Even if you're not, if so, when you're recording, not recording, I'm the same person. So lots of podcasts, interviews. I work a lot on YouTube, and it's, I don't know if it's easy or not. I am working in the 4 languages, and if people tell me, yeah, you have to work in one language, I'm like, I can't. I'm Romanian. Lots of my stuff is in Romanian, but my favorite language is Italian, and I forgot most of it because living in France, I couldn't speak it anymore, and it was so difficult to start talking in Italian. But it took me 1 year to be almost back to normal, and now I am okay. It's really nice to know I don't have anything in Italian, yet I have clients in Italian. They find me. I know they find me on the website for the Discover Healing with the emotion code, but it's really nice to see people finding me even when I'm not promoting myself. So this is the self-work we're talking about. I'm working in French. I have a community, a very big community where I go and do conferences from time to time, and in English, Facebook, to find where I can go and talk about what I'm doing. And this year I said it's time to start promoting, so paying ads, because I feel settled enough to that step. So it's not an easy step to take, but it's a long run and it's a marathon, and we don't have to stop after the first stop that comes along. We really need to take it all in.
Ah, I think this has been very helpful. And I think it's helped people realize that it really comes down to our mindset. If we're not in a good place with our mind, it's hard for us to keep pushing forward. And like how you said, with all the self-work that you did with yourself to help you get to the place where you felt good to start promoting. I mean, this is really good for people to realize that getting out your story is not always the easiest.
Well, me writing the book was really easy.
Yeah.
But then thinking of what people could say about it, there was a huge blockage. Others will have the blockage prior to that. They won't start writing the book. But it's really important. So, for instance, my work, it's really on that. So today, for instance, we're talking about the book, but just think that working on your beliefs or on your limiting beliefs, on your trapped emotions, will help you take that step. I will give you an example with something else on what I'm working with the clients. For instance, they want to work on their weight. Most of them losing weight, some of them gaining weight. And what I'm doing, it's not always giving them the final result, but we are working on the energy. And what happens after our work is they will find the right coach, the right program, the right, I don't want to eat that anymore. So there is the shift that will allow them to get to the final result. So for instance, I know I want to write a book. I also, me personally, I want to write another book. Knowing how I like to write in the flow, I have some steps to take now, and I will start writing the book when I know I can sit down and write it completely. And on that, maybe this also can be interesting for you also. On that, I want to finish what I started previously. So, for instance, if you started a book, finish the book. Don't stop in the middle. Start, read it again. I've started the book back in 2015, 16. I'm not sure about the year. And a few years ago, I went and started reading that beginning of the book, and I was so captivated by it, and I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. I love the story. I know what I wanted to write about. I didn't finish that book, and I don't feel ready to write such a book because it's really interesting. I've started writing that book saying that something bad will happen and there is only one survivor. Then COVID hit. Well, luckily things didn't happen like that, but it's really funny to talk about that and seeing what happened in between. Well, let's get back to this finishing the things. So, for instance, for me, I knew that I needed to finish the translated the book in the 4 languages. I needed to do that. I needed to publish it. I needed to do something on my website. I have 2 websites because I have one in Romanian and the other one in the other languages. I wanted to have an app for my website for people to download the app. So there was that. I always had something, do this, do that, and all of them. And then I knew we needed to move. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going overloading myself. Writing a book, it's not about overloading. Writing the book is about take a deep breath in and out, and inside you already have it written. And actually, you listen to your heart, and your fingers will write everything. And then when you stop, you read it and you're like, oh, this is so beautiful. Who wrote that? I wrote that. So it's something like this. And you can postpone, but just allow yourself to get to that moment when you start and you don't stop.
Yes, I'm glad that you said that because that's what I tell pretty much everybody in the community, that you should write with your heart. And then I talk about you have to put onto paper or onto the computer, however you write. And this is when you're not judging and no editing. So that's beautiful that you said that.
Yeah.
So does anyone have questions for her?
When I have my workshops, I'm like 1, 2, 3. If no one is writing or saying anything, it means they don't. But I really hope you appreciate it and it's useful for you.
Yeah. So can you tell us your YouTube or your website or whatever you'd like to share?
Yeah, the YouTube is Dorela Iepan, so make sure you see it's an IE there and not other letters. And no, it's not about you.
Right.
French and English people always misspell, and I'm sorry about that. But it's Dorela Iepan. I'm Dorela Iepan on YouTube. I'm dorelaiepan.com on the website, and that's how you find also the app. And these are the main uh, links I can give, because Facebook, I will say the events I already have on the website. I place all the events on dorelaiepan.com/events. If you want to come and see what I do, I have one workshop a month in every language, so English, French, Italian. For the Romanian side, I have a full community with many workshops, lots of activities. But I have one workshop a month in English. And if you want to participate for free, you can come to the first workshop. This way you understand how amazing this energy work is. And then if you like, it's a membership, it's really accessible, and it's changing lives. For instance, for me, starting the membership last year in September, I started in French, then in English, then in Italian. Even for me, it transformed my life. The way I work, and I'm sure it's something that you resonate with, working for my clients is working on myself. And every time I'm helping a client, it helps me. So I'm happy to work for everyone, but I'm seeing the results in my life. I'm the example of what I'm working. And yeah, it's really beautiful. And if you need an encouragement, I've heard people saying, it's not important if you get published. Write a book. You will understand so many things by writing the book. For instance, for me, writing my book, I don't like to download PDF now or to receive PDF. I want to buy the book myself because I know all the work I've been putting in my book. And we understand what it means to write a book, all the work that's there. The author, it's not gaining much, honestly, because there is the publisher, the transport, the, I don't know, I said editor, those who will do the cover of the book. There are so many costs, and people are like, oh, it's so expensive. Honestly, almost all the books I've read, they have so important content inside. The price is not enough for the value that's inside the book. So if you don't want to get published, write your book, because you will understand so much about you, about life. If you want to get published, write that book and let people discover you, and go to talk to people, do podcasts. I don't know if you know the Morning Miracle. Do you know about the book? Okay, so I didn't read the book, but I just watched a podcast of this guy, and it was so inspiring. He said that 18 months he had even up to 12 or more podcasts a day. speaking to everyone about his book. And everyone was, wow, you're so amazing. Your book is so amazing. And he said, yeah, 18 months, no results. And then boom, everything hit it. And it really helped me because I knew I will get to people. And then I said, I don't care how long it takes. If I don't get to the people, it's that I'm not ready yet. I will continue to work on myself and I will get in front of the people. And I'm working and I'm having results and I'm enjoying life and I'm happy with my life. So when those millions of readers will read the book and will understand how amazing it is, it will be the perfect moment. I'm ready, waiting for that moment.
Thank you for saying all that. That's very helpful. And I think it's good to hear that and see like your take on it. And I love how you reflected and you talked about how important it is just to write the story pretty much for yourself and not even worrying about publishing it if you don't, because this is supposed to be for you above all the other people. It's you. Like I talk about having a targeted audience and how you should think about them, but I also say don't forget you, because you don't want to just have all this stuff out there specifically for this other person, like, oh, I think they maybe want it said this way. Then you're losing yourself, and that's not the best way to go.
So my book is written for women. I cannot give only one type of women because it's so it's not a book about me, but when I was thinking of the reader, it's me who was single. It's me who was in between the breakups. It's me who found the perfect love. It's me who wanted to get divorced because I thought it was over. So in the book, I'm there and I'm saying, maybe now your relationship is perfect. Maybe because of the book, you broke up from something that wasn't good for you. Maybe you found the love of your life. Maybe you didn't find them. So in any case, your life is changing. So can I have only one person? And then extra, I've written the book for women. Men bought my book and told me they like it. And I'm like, and here today, I don't know if we don't have men with us. Yeah. So I'm writing the book for that person, but the person who feels attracted to the book will come.
Oh, thank you for sharing, and thank you so much for talking today. It's been very eye-opening, and I definitely liked your take on all of it and your own adventure with it. It's very good.
Thank you.
But I think we're gonna call it a night. Any more last questions from anybody? Going once, twice. Okay. Well, thank you so much for this and have a great night. Oh,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You too.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.